They finally went and did it. These absolute madmen, these savages, finally went and put Book of Moon in the main box. I don't care what else is in this box. It doesn't really matter. This is not a skip. This is not. I've already done a little look and a peek here and there to see what's in here, and oh, I'm so upset, but I'm also so excited because the thing is. You would hope, as someone who spent money on Book of Moon in the selection box, that the box that they brought Book of Moon out in would be ass, so you could skip it. But that wouldn't make sense. So they went dummy on, like, from what I can see, and it feels like they targeted me specifically. I feel personally attacked by this. Let's just see what else is in the box. Book of Moon, fire, super hot fire. You know what it does. You've seen it ever. I don't need to tell you what that card does. It is no longer an exclusively pay-to-win card. You absolutely love to see it. It's not down to luck or RNG. Any player who wants this card can now go after it and get it with gems. They've also got Pendulum Paradox. Add 2 face-up Pendulum monsters with the same Pendulum scale, but different names from your extra deck to your hand. I mean, it's interesting because like you're going plus one because you're getting 2 cards, you're losing 1. Because you're getting cards with the same pendulum scales, you can't pendulum someone with the cards that you get. But if you have another pendulum monster in hand, then maybe you can do something, pendulum someone, one of the 2. So that's not a bad effect. That's interesting, I suppose. Sylvans. Okay, so I saw a little bit of Sylvan. I didn't realize they had a UR in this box as well, right? So Sylvan Princess Sprout. Now I know that if this card gets sent to the graveyard from the main deck, you get to special summon it and choose its level, like one to. Hold on. If this card is, you can tribute this card, excavate the top card of your deck, and send it to the graveyard, and place 1 Sprout monster in your graveyard on top of the deck. I don't think that effect is that crazy, but if this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, declare a level from 1 to 8 and special summon this card from the graveyard and it becomes that level. So there you go. So I think that's the primary thing you want to use it for, to help you to like XZ summon with other cards on the field. So I think that can help Sylvans to bust out an XZ's toolkit, but you would need 3 of this card. Rescue Hamster. Oh, it's adorable. Oh my days. You can banish this card from your Pendulum Zone. This is its Pendulum effect. Add 2 face-up Pendulum monster cards with the same name from your extra deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per duel. So again, this is adding cards from your extra deck to your hand. They have to already be face-up, which means they have to have already been destroyed. And if they have the same name, then they're probably the same card, which means they're probably the same scale. But its monster effect is during the turn this card was normal summon, if you have a face-up level 5 or lower Pendulum card in your extra deck, tribute this card, choose 1 level 5 or lower Pendulum monster card in your extra deck, and special summon 2 monsters from your deck with the same name as that card. Their effects are negated and they're destroyed. So whereas a regular Rescue Rabbit can only work on level 4 monsters, this can work on 5 or lower, which means that you can get some rank 5 XCs in there. But you have to have a monster in your face-up extra deck, which wouldn't be too hard. Some cards can, destroy themselves in the Pendulum Zone. Maybe you do something, a song and dance, and boom, you got it. I don't think that this is that crazy, but it's interesting. Now, Necros of Brionic, Watt007 mentioned this in a video. I didn't understand it when he spoke about it, so if you want more context other than just what the card says, he could probably give it to you. That being put to one side, he didn't know, he wasn't sure if we were gonna get this card. He thought it was hype, right? So, you can ritual summon this card with any Necros ritual spell. Must be ritual summon without using Necros of Brionic. Can only use each of these effects once per turn. It's a level 6. You can discard this card. It's a hand trap. You can discard this card, add 1 Necros monster from your deck to your hand, except this one. So assuming you have 2 in hand, it says you can't ritual summon it with itself. Well, just discard 1, get a level 6 monster. That's beautiful. You can target up to 2 face-up monsters on the field that were special summoned from the extra deck, shuffle them into the deck. Oh my. It's a targeted effect, but non-destruction removal. That is fire. That is absolute fire, and it can be done turn to turn, and it says up to 2. So if they only have 1 monster on the field that's from the extra deck, then boom, you bounce it back. DDDs could be in trouble off of this. That is actually pretty fire if it's a consistent build. Black Luster Soldier, Super Soldier. I am a little bit upset. I'm a little bit sad. I was working on Black Luster Soldier, like a deck based on the existing support that we currently had. This was before the announcement of the skill came out. I wanted to do a video. I used my dream ticket on the old Black Luster Soldier. It was a dumb decision because it's in the half price gem sale, but I was impatient. I wanted to make the video, and now I have to spend money. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its attack in the graveyard. We're seeing a lot of that recently. If this card is destroyed by a battle and sent to the graveyard itself, or if it's destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon Gaia the Fierce Knight from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So that actually syncs up pretty well with Gaia as well. That syncs up pretty well with Gaia, although I'm not sure if like the mainstream current Gaia deck is running Gaia the Fierce Knight. I don't think it is. I mean, this is still cool, right? It's a Blackluster Soldier without the vanilla. Had I not wasted a dream ticket, this would actually be pretty fire. It's just because the ritual cards for the cards that you use to ritual summon into Blackluster Soldier will also give you additional effects. That's what the archetype does, which is why I was excited to give the vanilla monster extra effects. It was going to be a fire video, and now I just don't get to be happy, but you do. Dark Armed, the Dragon of Annihilation, 2+ level 7 monsters. Once per turn, if you have exactly 5 dark monsters in your graveyard. Wait, what? You can also exile some. Oh! By using 1 level 5 or higher dark dragon monster you control as material. So if you have, and that just says dark monsters, not even dark dragon or level monsters, just if you have exactly 5 dark monsters in your graveyard. Also exile summon this card by just using 1 level 5 or higher dark dragon monster you control as material. So you have a dark dragon monster with 5, just any dark monsters in the graveyard, boom, you're good to go. So that's red eye support. You can detach 1 material from this card, target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it, then banish 1 card from your graveyard, and this card cannot attack for the rest of the turn. That is, it targets, it only destroys 1. You have to banish resources from your graveyard. This card cannot attack the rest of the turn. I don't know about that. Thunder and Dragon. You would think it would be Thunder Dragon support, but it says 2 level 8 normal monsters, so it's actually for Blue Eyes. That's just disrespectful. Once per turn, you can attach 1 Xyz material from this card, destroy. Oh, this is what you want to see. Oh, this is not what you want to see, Blue Eyes. Oh no. This is in effect. This is absolutely fire. That's non-targeted board wipe. 2 level 8 normal monsters. Blue Eyes just got a hell of a lot more powerful. I mean, they already had the Heraldic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis, and that card, the difference is that card can destroy any card on the field, but it has to tribute things, but that can be good for Blue Eyes, because you can use that to send your stone to the graveyard. But if you have nothing in your hand to discard currently, then this is a non-targeted board wipe for you. Beautiful. Damn, more red eye support. They are really going in. Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. Archfiend level 6 normal monster, Red Eyes normal monster. I've never seen those 2 cards in the same deck, so I don't know. You can only special summon this card once per turn. If it battles, your opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. Okay, which means that they would have to target it or do whatever before this card swings. If damage calculation is performed involving this fusion summon card at the end of the battle phase, target a Red Eyes normal monster in your graveyard and inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its attack in the graveyard and shuffle it into the deck. That's not bad, but I can't imagine how you'd be getting this out unless you use like a fusion substitute. So I wouldn't say that this is bad. I wouldn't say this is bad. I'm not in love with the idea of it, I guess, but it's just, I don't know. It's not hitting for me. I mean, the SR cards look like a shout too, and this is why I felt personally attacked. There's Bujin support in here, the Pendulum Bujin monster. Now, I'm not a massive fan of this card. It's a level 4 Beast Warrior monster, which is, it fits with the deck's overall, like synergy and everything. You can use it with the Bujingi monsters, which is cool, but it's a normal monster, right? It's a normal monster, no effect on the field, but its Pendulum effect is you can banish this card from the Pendulum zone, and if you have an Xyz monster on the field, well, you can just rank it up, and not necessarily rank it up, but you can just Xyz summon another Xyz monster on top of that card. I'll just read it. You can banish this card from your Pendulum zone, target 1 Bujin XYZ monster you control, special summon from your extra deck 1 Bujin Xyz monster with a different name by using that target as the Xyz material. So, I mean, I guess a cool thing that you could do is like, you could activate, you could summon a Susanoo, search out your deck, and then activate this card and change that Susanoo into a Tsukiyomi, for instance. Like that's something. It might finally make the Bujinki Amaterasu relevant because like that card it takes 3 monsters to make and its effect really isn't worth it. This is kind of an interesting interaction because one of its effects is on your turn, you can target one of your level 4 or lower monsters that's banished and special summon it. So you would banish Hiruko to summon Amaterasu and then use Amaterasu to resummon Hiruko, but Hiruko doesn't have anything crazy going on for it. It has 1,000 attack and 2,000 defense. It's It's not going dummy like that, but hey, it's a level 4 on the field, I guess. Now, during your opponent's turn, you can target one of your banished level 4 or lower monsters and add that target to your hand. So in that way, it could be good for recovery in a longer game. I'm not sure. I mean, again, we'll have to play test with it in Duel Links to see how it works out, which means I have to go into this box, even though I already have 3 copies of Book of Moon. Now, this Time Wizard card is just Chaos Incarnate. So basically, you know how with the regular Time Wizard, you flip a coin and then depending on what you call it, destroy the player's monsters. You know, if you call it right, destroy your opponent's monsters. If not, you destroy your own. This card says it doesn't care. You activate my effect, destroy everything. Everything is gone, right? We both suffer. Then you toss the coin, and if you call it right, your opponent takes the damage. And if you call it wrong, you take the damage of the attack of all of the monsters that were on the field. So this could be interesting. Although it's a quarter of the total original attack, not all of it. So it's interesting. It's a board wipe, and all it takes is Time Wizard plus 1 effect monster, which means that you can use this in a lot of potential decks, right? Like that is anything that fusion summons. If you are willing to throw Time Wizard in there, then you're good to go. Bro, there's Gishki support in here. I don't even know what Reshef is, but that's in here too. So this just has some dummy ritual support, I suppose. What else is in here? So it looks like we're getting a lot of the Ignite support down here as normal monsters, which is just interesting. There's some Sylvan stuff down here as well, but obviously the SR Sylvan card is in here, so you would have to go after that in the old box if you wanted it, but you probably have it because that's where Hey True Nade was. Some more Necros stuff in the rare section, some Super Soldier stuff. Like, this just seems like an interesting box. Obviously, Performapal stuff coming out. They'll be good eventually at this rate. I don't really know. And the Sylvan stuff. This is new. 2 level 7 monsters. Once per turn, you can send 1 plant monster from your hand or face up from your side of the field to the graveyard. Look at a number of cards from the top of your deck equal to that level. So basically, you just organize the top cards of your deck. That's pretty cool. Once per turn, detach 1 Exe's material from this card. Choose a number from 1 to 3 and excavate that many cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, return that many cards on the field. And if you do, so you excavate 3 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard, then send any plant monsters to the graveyard, and if you do, return up to that many cards on the field to the hand, except this card. Also, place the other cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. That part doesn't really matter. That's non-targeted. That doesn't say target. That just says return. Sylvans might be about to go dummy because of this. I could be wrong, because maybe it would be too difficult to make, but if Sylvans can make this card consistently, a non-targeted bounce to hand, that's actually pretty fire. Now, they would still need protection from targeting and all that kind of stuff in recovery, so it's not a guarantee, but that is a strong effect. Now, this card, the Chemic Critter, it takes 2 level 8 Gemini monsters, and you might be thinking, Gemini, what's that? Like, that is an old, it's a summoning mechanic that Konami tried out, didn't really work out, but like, this is interesting because this card makes it so that Gemini monsters can't be targeted by your opponent. Your opponent cannot target Gemini monsters you control with card effects while this card is on the field. So while this card isn't a Gemini monster itself, so it wouldn't be protected by that effect, it is still kind of cool. And then when a Gemini monster is normal summon, attach 1 Exe's material from this card. Your opponent has to send a card from their hand or field to the graveyard. Also non-targeted. It's just your opponent has a choice. So that's pretty good. All things considered, this box might not be for everybody, but this box is for everybody. Book of Moon is in here, so like everything else I had to say was more or less irrelevant. It's the best card in the game. You want to go into this box. So if you're not interested in the other stuff, just hope to get it early and dodge everything else. But there is some pretty cool stuff in there. There's some interesting tech. I don't know if I would say any of it is really generic and splashable that's good, but there's a lot of archetype specific stuff that kind of revives old archetypes and summoning mechanics, which I find to be really cool. Rituals, Geminis, Time Wizard was like just a lot of interesting stuff. So I might do a video where I rank and rate all of the cards, but in terms of just my initial thoughts on the deck, or the box rather, I would give this like an A. I would give this an A. Yeah, I'm a fan. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please do consider liking, subscribing to the channel. I would very much appreciate it. Have a fantastic day and enjoy the new box, friends.